Hello everybody and welcome back. In the previous video, we had created some functions inside of our database service, which we are now going to be using inside of our chat page provider to interact with our Firestore database and pull data or manipulate data of different chats inside of it. So the first function that we are going to be working with is going to be the function which we made for streaming messages for a chat, and we named it conveniently the same as well. So let's get into our chat page provider and let's see how we're going to be doing it. So similar to what we did for our chats page, where we wanted to see a list of chats that the user is a part of and also have updates shown to us as the data changed inside of Firestore, we used streams. And we're going to be doing the same thing here, where we're going to be using a stream to actually, one, get the data that we require initially, and then after that be notified and update the UI every time the data changes inside the Firestore backend. In this case, we're going to be concerned with streaming changes that are happening within the messages collection that consists within the actual chat document that our Firestore database contains. So each chat document has a messages collection inside of it, and we'll be listening to changes happening within that messages collection. So the first thing that we need to do is that inside of our chat page provider, we need to set up an actual stream subscription. So let's do that. So to do that, what I'm going to do is that I am going to say that we are going to create a late stream subscription. And this is going to be called _messages and then stream. That done, and making sure that there are no errors in our application, the next thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to be creating the dispose call to actually dispose the stream when our chat page provider gets destroyed. So to do that, I'll go to the dispose function, and I'm going to say that destroy the messages stream by doing message stream dot and then cancel call on it and do command save. With this done, now we're ready to actually define the function, which is going to be setting up our messages stream and also taking care of giving or notifying us, the UI of the chat page, that hey, I have data available that you can render. So to do that, I'm going to create a function, and I'm going to call this function listen to messages, and it'll be void. And then I'm going to open it up. But before I add anything to this, I'm going to copy this function call, and I'm going to go to our chat page provider, and there I'm going to add the listen to messages function call so that we invoke it every time the chat page provider is instantiated. Now inside of here, the first thing that I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be adding a try catch block, since this function can fail. With this, I'm going to be adding two print statements into the catch block saying print error getting messages, and then with this I'll have an error that's going to be printed out as well. With this, I'm going to take the messages stream variable and I'll assign it the value of db.stream messages for chat. And then I'm going to give it the chat ID, and the chat ID is going to be the chat ID that gets passed in, as you can see here. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to attach the listener to it. And I'm going to say that every time we have an event that gets fired, I want to do some stuff on the data that we receive. So what would we like to do? Well, the first thing that we need to do is that we need to create a list of messages that we can display in the UI. For that, what I'll say is that we'll have a list of chat message, and I'm going to call this _messages. And then I'll set that equal to our snapshot, and then I'll access the documents in it. And then for each document, I'll map it. And then I'll map each of the documents. And ultimately, my goal is going to be to return an instance of our chat message. So I'm going to remove the arrow function declaration, and I'm going to add these curly brackets. And then I'm going to say that I'm going to return a chat message, and it's going to be chat message from JSON, and then add a semicolon here as well. But where do we get the JSON data that needs to be given to this factory constructing method? So for that, what I'll do is that I'll create a variable which will be of type map string comma dynamic, and then we know where all this is heading. I'll call this message data, and I'll set that equal to our actual message that we get, and then I'll call the data function on it, and then I'll cast this as map string comma dynamic. then add the parentheses at the end and add the semicolon. With this, I'll take this message data and I'll add it to our JSON call, and then I'll do command save. So now that this is done, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to hover over the error message, and it's going to tell us that a value of type iterable chat message can't be assigned to a variable type called list chat message. So all we have to do is that we need to take our map function, which is returning an iterable to us, and we need to create a list out of it. So I'm going to attach a toList call to this, and that should fix the issue for us. I'm also going to, in the same process, add some commas where required so that our code formatting looks good. And I'm also going to remove these parentheses and add a comma here and do Alt-Shift-F command save. So now that we have access to our messages, what I'm going to do is that once we've had the snapshot documents be transformed and added to our actual messages list, I am going to, after the toList call, set the messages list that we have inside of the class here that we define to hold all of the messages that we have just extracted by doing messages equal to underscore messages, and do command save. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to call the notify listeners call so that we can notify the widgets that are listening to this chat page provider to update themselves and re-render themselves. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to end this video here, and I'll see you guys in the next video where we're going to be setting up the events so that we can actually listen to keyboard changes happening. So with that, I'm going to be ending this video here. But before I end this video, I'm going to just add a comment here, and I'll say that add keyboard or add scroll to bottom call, which will come to in later videos, but just so that we remember that all that comment here and do command save. So with that, I'm going to end this video here, and I'll see you guys in the next video where we are going to further develop our chat page provider. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.